I'm back out at CCU today and I'm testing out Understable mids. So I brought quite a few of them. Westside Tursas in VIP plastic, a retro fuse, Discraft Ti Meteor, an Opto fuse, dynamic disc Lucid Bounty, 750 M4, 400G M4, a BaseGrip M model US, and a Duraflex Glow M model US that really isn't all that US. Anyways, I'm going to be throwing them down towards the basket off in the distance, which is around 265, 270 feet. It is downwind, so we've got about 8 to 10 mile per hour downwind, directly straight downwind, you can see from the flags. So you're not going to see a lot of turnover and movement from these, but I want to give you an idea about what they're going to look like. I'm going to start with what is probably the least stable, the most understable of them all, and that would be the Westside Disc Tursas, VIP plastic. My goal here is to aim about 20 feet left of target and throw it nice and flat. With the downwind, I might want to go even like maybe 10 feet left of target. A little bit of hyzer. It came out, it basically is going straight, and that's out there at about 260. Next, probably the next most understable, the Latitude 64 retro fuse, retro plastic. Same idea. Aim about 10 feet left and let the disc work over to the right. Give it some height. You can see a little turnover, a little slide. Now, those two discs, the fuse has a -1.0, so it's going to turn to the right and never come back. The Tursas has a -2.1, so you are going to get a little bit of comeback with the Tursas. To complement the retro fuse, I want to look at the Opto fuse. Same shot, same aim point. Now you can probably see it goes way straighter, has a little bit more glide, goes way straighter, doesn't have any of that turnover to the right. So that's the difference in your retro plastics and your Opto plastics. One of my absolute favorites, Discraft Ti Meteor. This one has been in and out of the bag for years, so it's pretty beat in. Kind of flies like that Tursas. Nice little turnover. It kind of turns to the right, holds it, but then comes back, and it's sitting right on top of that fuse. The dynamic discs Bounty, the Lucid Bounty, is a speed 4, so it probably won't go as far as the others, won't have the glide, but should have roughly the same shape. Yep, and you'll notice that one came up literally 20, 25 feet shorter than the others. That's that 5-speed versus a 4-speed. 750 M4 from Prodigy. Same aim point, same shot. Up, I pulled it a little bit. But you can see it has a little stability. It's trying to come back out. That could have been a bit nose up as well. And 400G M4. Again, don't forget there's an 8 to 10 mile per hour downwind that I'm throwing with, so that's going to keep things from turning over. The 400G, a little bit nose up, but you can kind of see the shape. It wanted to turn to the right and then caught itself and started going back to the left. Now, the last two, Prodigy Ace Line M model US and BaseGrip. This one is a little bit understable. The Duraflex one isn't. So again, you get that almost that 4-speed. It's supposedly a 5-speed. No, I'm sorry. It is a 4-speed. So you get that 4.5 -1.1. This is the Glow Duraflex. It almost flies identical to that Bounty. That one I threw it a little harder, so it actually did have a little bit of glide and a little bit of finish. But hopefully you can see that the The BaseGrip M Model US and the Duraflex M Model US, something about them just doesn't appeal to me. Personally, if I had to pick one of them, I really like the Tursas for the most understable, and I like the Opto Fuse for that kind of a straight to understable. All right, I'm gonna be throwing these discs back in the exact same order, at least hopefully I can remember the same order. In the distance, the gap between the bushes and the bushes is around the 270, 275 feet mark. I don't know if you can hear on the mic or not, but we're now into about an 8 to 10 mile per hour headwind. So whereas before I threw the shot, it really didn't want to turn over to the right because of the tailwind, now it's going to be turning over a lot more. So you can kind of figure out, you know, about roughly halfway what would be what. So again, I'm going to be aiming at that spot, starting off with Westside Discs Tursas, aiming at the pole off in the distance, and then just letting the disc do what it does. Big time turnover to the right and drops out somewhere in around the 240, 250 mark. Latitude 64 retro fuse. You can see it's trying to turn over almost immediately, even to the point I get a little cut roll out of that one. The Opto fuse, give it a little height. Well, maybe no height. Now look at that. It flew a little longer than the Tursas, had basically the same shape as the Tursas. That would be the difference in your retro plastics and your Opto plastics. Here we have Lucid Bounty. The numbers are 4, 5, negative 1.5, 0.5. So I'm expecting it to go to the right and maybe gather itself and fall flat. We'll see. Oh yeah, there he goes. It was a low shot, a little cut roll. It was a low shot and the wind has picked up a bit. So now it's like a 15 mile per hour headwind. Discraft Ti Meteor. Give it some height. Well, no height. Kind of slides over and sits down. All of these are going out there somewhere in around the 240, 250 mark. Like they're really struggling to go out there anywhere. 750 M4. There's the height I want. Turns over to the right, gathers itself, and then just falls down flat. Here is a 400G M4. Try to throw it the same. Kinda, a little lower. Slides to the right, and then you can see it tilting back up to show that little bit of fade. Not quite sure right offhand what the numbers for the M4 are, but it almost mimics like the Ti Meteor, or it almost mimics what you're gonna see here with these guys. This is a BaseGrip M Model US. So it should have a little bit more turnover. Yeah, oh yeah, as soon as it got up to flat, it was dying to go right. Catches itself, falls down flat. That one went further right than any, but it was one of the higher shots as well. So here's a Duraflex M Model US, 4.5, negative 1.1. Let's see how it flies. It should be a little bit more stable than the one you just saw. Okay, so it's got a slide to the right, grabs itself, and it was actually trying to come back to the left. So hopefully you can tell between the shot downwind and the shot into the wind, kind of a halfway medium. Your baseline plastics are going to be way more understable and way more unpredictably understable. So for example, your retro plastics, your BaseGrip plastics, they're going to be a little bit unpredictable. You may get that big turnover, you may not. Your higher end plastics, your Optos, your VIPs, your Lucids, your 750s, 400Gs and all, they're going to be a little bit more consistent across the run.